Good morning, everyone. Welcome into our Saturday morning coaches show. I'm Don Julian, and right now we'll have to see if anybody else walks in the door this morning that I don't know about, but they might. I've invited a lot of people, and we have two RSVPs. We have an MVP. Actually, have two MVPs here. We have Clark Cipoletta, coach of the Wildcats basketball team, and also Alexi Upton is standing over there, ready for the official to wave him into the game here and get him on the coaches show as well. And we're glad to have both of those guys today. Well, let me tell you about the other 9 teams that we're covering right now, and everybody quite busy, but we'll try to go through this as quickly as we can. And if some of these coaches show up, we'll just talk about their team, and we will, but I will give you a brief overview here. Lady Cats basketball, for example, they now know that they will play Nacogdoches. That's the number 4 team in the District 16 5A. They lost to Lufkin last night. They had a chance to get into a third place tie, but they lost that game at Lufkin. So it'll be Nacogdoches against the Lady Cats. That'll be in Athens, and it's going to be in about a week. I think it's going to be on Friday night, but I do not have a confirmation on that yet. It'll either be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. That's the UIL rule. And there's supposed to be, and there could possibly be a warm-up game, maybe with Lindale. I'm not sure that's been firmed up. But anyway, we'll find out more about that. As soon as we know something, we will let you know. But it will be Nacogdoches and the Lady Cats and by district. And I'm kind of glad they avoided Jacksonville this year. I was getting tired of seeing that team. And let's see what else we have here. We have Lady Cat soccer with Javier Aguayo Friday night at Prim, won 1-0. And I understand they got a red card early, and so they had to kind of have that on their shoulders for the majority of the game, but managed to hang on for that 1-0 win. And 3 games in district so far for the Lady Cats, a loss, a shootout win, and a win. So they're beginning to rack up some points as their season progressing. 7-5-4 I have for their record this week, and this will be just the opposite of Alexi's schedule. On Tuesday, the Lady Cats will be going to Marshall. On Friday, they'll be home hosting Pine Tree's Lady Pirates. Wildcats baseball will have their first scrimmage. That'll be Monday at Sherman. Starts at 6:30. The Wildcats baseball team will be at home on Friday. Terrell will be coming in, and that one will start at 6 o'clock over at the Wildcat baseball park. Coach Jared Hammock. Lady Cat softball had their second scrimmage last night. They really walloped McKinney North over there and won big for Coach David Carrillo. This was the second scrimmage. They were also at Gilmer on Tuesday of last week, or this past week. And this week, coming up, 2 scrimmages at Royce City Tuesday, beginning at 5 o'clock, JV first and then varsity. And then Sherman will be coming to Lady Cat Park, and that'll be 5 o'clock on Friday, JV and varsity. And powerlifting with Casey Jeter. They'll be at a meet in Greenville, the Wildcats and Lady Cats lifters. He's getting a good number of ladies now. I think they had 6 or 7 that lifted over in this past meet that they had, I think it was on Thursday in Royce City. And so anyway, he's getting a good number of ladies now participating in powerlifting. Wildcats tennis, they were at a Kilgore tournament on Friday. They'll be in a Mount Pleasant tournament this coming Thursday with Coach Tony Martinez. Wildcats golf has a 2-day tournament going on. It'll be day 2 today at the Rockwall Golf and Athletic Club. It's a regional preview. That's the course that the regional tournament will be played on in April. And that's Jeremy DeLorge. And then Coach Whitney Spigner's Lady Cats golf team will have their first tournament of this semester, and they will go to a Bullard-hosted tournament at Emerald Bay. and that'll be a 9 o'clock start next Wednesday. And then track, well, they'll just have to wait. They'll be coming up next week, as everybody will be getting in the act during the month of February, and that's always the way it goes. Let's talk to Clark Cipoletta now. And Coach, I thought I found myself admiring those kids in Orange last night because they had absolutely nothing to play for. Their playoff future was gone. They had no shot. Regardless of what happened to anybody. But I guess, that pride in walking in and seeing that Wildcat blue, and it's just more than they could handle. And they put it out there last night, and the Wildcats had to make some plays down the stretch to kind of pull away for a 74-68 win. Tell us your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, Texas High is just a really gritty group, and sometimes when people don't have anything to play for, they're more scary. There's no pressure. They play a lot more free and just more open-minded. Nothing to lose. So, and that's the way they played. They made a lot of shots, and to me, I thought they really put pressure on us defensively. I don't know how many times we got a kill last night, but it wasn't very many where we could put together a series of stops. They just made it tough. And anytime we're scoring in the 70s and 80s, we should win by quite a bit. And unfortunately that wasn't the case. But hats off to Texas High, man. They made the night really challenging, and we're fortunate enough to come away with the win.
And just like we always talk about, we've got a fine group of coaches, and they can coach them up. And Jacob Skinner did a good job of having them ready and kind of guiding them through that game. Fortunately for us, in fact, we swept them this year, but neither one was easy. We went into overtime over there in Texarkana.
Yeah, they're always, like you said, they're just a tough group to put away. They find a way in all my years just to stay around. They're always well prepared. Like you said, Coach Skinner does an amazing job with them. They're always athletic. They always know what to take away, our strengths, and they make you adjust. And over the course of years, like you said, we've been blessed to win some, and none of them have definitely been easy. We had to go out there and earn it, and fortunate to get away with both of those wins.
Once again, there were some tremendous mismatches. Of course, they had a little bitty guard. He was a pretty good fella. He was pretty feisty and everything, and looked very young. But him guarding Lamodrick Johnson, there's just almost a foot difference, between those guys. And then, you had some success in really utilizing. I know they were collapsing and doing everything they could, but we really, once again, utilized, Justin Hare and also Cordrick Turner had some good moments inside as Hare had 18 points and Cordrick had 17 for you.
Yeah, that's kind of the route of our offense. We know we're going to have a size advantage on most teams, and if we don't have one size advantage with Justin, we probably have it with Cordrick. So that's the fortunate factor of us playing two bigs all the time. And we were just trying to utilize that. And I thought early in the game we got a couple of easy looks, and then later in the game they got a lot more tough. Like you said, they started collapsing down. They started playing with a little bit more active hands, which decreased some of those passing windows that you could have. So they made it difficult the longer the game went in. But that's a huge part of what we do offensively. And then we kind of play out of the post, and like you said, Lamodrick and Boo and Caleb and some of those guys can really thrive because all the attention gets sucked down to those bigs.
Two of your seniors, we're going to talk about all of them, but Lamodrick Johnson and Boo Wilkerson both had 11 points. Lamodrick, I'd like to feature on him first because he made two incredible defensive plays late in the ball game that really changed the game because they were threatening to either tie or go ahead. It's like a 2-point game. And he reaches in and strips the ball without getting a foul, which, there were quite a few fouls in the game. I don't know an incredible number, but quite a few. And so being able to get that hand in there and pry the ball loose without a foul, and he did it twice down the stretch. And I just thought those were huge plays.
No, they were. And he's a kid that we really have to keep a thumb on defensively, kind of every once in a while, especially at the beginning of the season, we kind of go rogue on us a little bit. And he's a kid that, is really locked in and understands more now what it really takes to win. And not just try to go do your own thing, but stay within the element of our defense and our principles and rules, and and then when you do that, you have chances to make big plays. And I thought last night those two plays were absolutely very huge for us.
And Boo, he had an interesting game because I don't think his outside stroke was really good last night, but he still manages 11 points, and he got a lot of points around the basket. Had a big offensive rebound, seemed like very late in the game with a putback, and, just manages to score and scratch out a game where, when his outside shot just was not there like it is a lot of times.
He's one of those kids that can impact the game when he's not scoring. That's hard for a lot of kids to do, both physically and mentally. We know if he's not shooting the ball necessarily well, he's going to find ways to overcome that. And like you said, he thinks he's 6'7". He'll go in there and rebound with the size, and he just finds ways to make plays. Like you said, he did struggle last night. So much he texted me last night and said, "Hey, after the coaches show, can I go get up some shots? I need to get back into the gym." So he's just one of those guys that, no matter what, is just going to help his team win. And, I'm fortunate enough I have him on my team.
Very good. Let's we got a lot more to talk about, but let's take our first break here, and we'll be back with more with Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipoletta right after this. And back here on Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipoletta. Wildcats beat Texas High 74-68. That wrapped up the number 2 seed and the second place in district with a 9-3 record, and I think it's 16-9 is the overall record for the Wildcats this season as they prepare now for a by-district game that hopefully we can have some information on that on whatever Clark knows that other district. I think they're a week behind us, so I think they've still got maybe a week's worth of games to play, and somebody told me that their districts look pretty messy. There's like a lot of possibilities, a lot of teams kind of crammed in there, as can happen as the district kind of winds down. A couple of more seniors I'd like to talk about, Coach. You have 4 of them, and I don't know that I've seen Malik Cole play a better offensive game than he had last night. He had 9 points and really was looking for his shot a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, he's actually, throughout the last 6 games, our statistically best three-point shooter. He's kind of been making about 1 a game, 1 for 2. And shooting the 3 ball at around, I think it was like 42%. So that's just going to help us that much more, just having some more offensive firepower. He was kind of a defensive specialist when he first came in to a role this year. He can really sit down and defend. He has a great size, great athleticism, and really, like last night, for example, they had 2 guards that could really get downhill and give us trouble. So that's when we have to kind of go to that package. And I was proud of him. You could tell he was confident in his corner 3. He had a couple of nice drive and attacks. So anything he could provide offensively is just a bonus for us because he does so much defensively.
Now, I like the fact, too, that he's kind of taken it upon himself to develop his defense and be more of a stopper. And Coach always likes to hear that, especially you, as much as you love defense. And it had to be kind of a coach's dream. Jatavian Hall, I think you guys call him Jato.
Right.
And he gets a start for you last night, which is not unusual on senior night, but that was neat to see. And he hits the 3 for you. What else do you expect from him? He comes off that bench and hits the 3 for you.
And Jato's such an awesome kid, such a great teammate. Man, if you're in a room and he's in the same room, he's going to make it brighter with his smile and with his enthusiasm and love for other people. I'm fortunate enough to have coached him for 4 years, so no, it was a cool moment. We know he can make shots, and here lately he's gotten more playing time and more opportunities to do that, like in the Mount Pleasant game and just different games where that role is needed, and he steps up to it. He's one of those guys that he's waiting until his number gets called, and when his number gets called, he's ready. He's locked in, so that was cool to see that last night, and I'm glad he came away with the 3.
And we had talked about during the Edge during the summer, he worked real hard and kind of reshaped his body, where he shed some pounds, and that makes you a better player.
I did. He absolutely did. He really sacrificed a lot this summer. I think he lost 30, 40 pounds.
Wow.
Just really bought into to his diet, to running, and did what it takes. And that's hard, especially for a 17, 18-year-old kid to have to sacrifice, a lifestyle at that point to achieve a goal he wanted to achieve. So I'm just overly, proud of him. And I know all four of those guys. I hope, through the game of basketball, some lessons that we taught them, they can apply to life, and they'll be better in moving forward.
And you had a assistant coach emeritus last night. I saw down around the bench Joe Garcia.
Yeah.
It was great to see Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's up to. Maybe you can fill us in a little bit. I know he's been in the National Guard,
Right.
and I don't know his status or anything, but it was just really good to see him there to support the Wildcats. I know he's been in spirit for you all season long.
He has, and we've been talking quite a bit. Fortunately enough, we got to communicate some while he was gone, and he's back now.
Right.
I'm not sure when he'll fully join, Sulphur Springs ISD, but he's in the meantime, he just wants to be around basketball because he loves it so much, and we're grateful to have him back, and we're thankful for him serving, and it just brought a joy and a spirit to our coaching staff when we got to see him. So we're very blessed to have known him and still him be a part of our Sulphur Springs basketball.
Long-time coach over in the community of Campbell, not too far away. Boys and girls, I think, over there in a long coaching career. And so he brings a lot of knowledge to the game, but it was just really good to see him. And I think I might have seen him at an earlier game. I'm not sure if he was at Paris or somewhere. It seemed like I saw him one other time. I may have gotten him confused with somebody else. My eyes are not what they used to be, but anyway, it was very good to see him. What do you know about 16-5A and the outlook for who the Wildcats might be facing? It'll be about 2 weeks. It's going to be, you'll be just like the Lady Cats. You're going to have quite a wait, almost 2 weeks from last night, or 2 weeks from now, I guess.
I know about as much as you know. Not very much. I was hoping last night's games would kind of clarify some things, but right now they're in a three-way tie. Everybody is, I want to say 4-3 or 4-4. It's between Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and Jacksonville. They're all fighting for that 2 seed, and then you got White House, who's just 1 game behind. And with 2 games left, a lot can happen. So, every time I think it's Jacksonville, Lufkin does something. Every time I think it's Lufkin, Nacogdoches does something. So, and we know Huntsville's going to get the 1 seed.
Oh, okay.
And John Tyler, I think, is mathematically out to play us. So I know it's between 4 teams. So we're trying to collect as much film on all 4 of those teams and just kind of prepare a little bit early. And then this next week it'll be nice because we get to send some coaches to some different places and get to watch them live. So that's one of the benefits. I hate taking 2 weeks off. You're afraid that messes with rhythm and some stuff, but hopefully we're mentally tough enough to be able to do that. I like to think we are, and that just gives us that much more time to prepare, and I think that just makes us a little bit more dangerous when we can do that.
Yeah. Lufkin, of course, I think we've met them the last 2 seasons, so we're kind of familiar with them out of that group. And, of course, we played Nacogdoches this year, so we have experience of playing a ball game against them. You might like a do-over in that one.
I would, to be honest. We let that one slip out of our hands, and, it's a good matchup for us. And I think, they have some size. They're very athletic. So that would be a good matchup. I know Lufkin's always tough defensively, and they have a big kid inside. So they're going to play good old man-to-man defense and be physical. So that's going to be challenging. And then you have Jacksonville, who's very small but very athletic, very quick. They go 5 out. They spread the floor. So each team poses its own issues. So I'm really not sure who I want to play. I just, whoever they send me, we'll prep for and hopefully prepare our team the best chance to win.
Some teams like warm-up games, some don't. What are your thoughts on it?
In a traditional season, I don't like warm-up games where, you just play that Tuesday before your district game and then you go play that Friday. I think you're just chancing to get somebody hurt. I don't know. I like to take another day to prepare for the opponent we're facing. But in this case, where you have 2 weeks, it's something I'm definitely going to look into. maybe play somebody on like a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Saturday where I can still go scout some of those teams and see them, but also get to maybe play. So I know they're not letting us do scrimmages or anything like that. I almost would like to just invite a team over, no refs, just scrimmage against them, practice, just try to give each other a look. So I'm going to kind of check into the UIL to see if something like that is possible. I don't think it is, but we'll just kind of see. It's kind of up in the air right now.
Will the other district be playing this week? You have some scouting opportunities for those games?
We do. I'm sending all 5 of us are going to different places.
Oh, wow.
I'm probably going to go watch Jacksonville Lufkin. I'll probably send another coach to Nacogdoches and White House. Then you have Midlothian and Greenville, Midlothian and Joshua playing. So that could be a second round potential matchup. And then I'm going to send somebody to Highland Park, which could be a third round matchup. So,
wow.
This is the chance where we can really see everybody live, but you don't get a lot of chances to do that, especially during the season. So we're going to really try to take advantage of that, and hopefully once again just gives us a more chance to prepare, and hopefully a better chance to win.
Tell me Lancaster's not lurking in the bracket somewhere nearby.
Oh, they're somewhere.
They're in there somewhere.
They,
we know.
they're very good, just like they always are. They're on the opposite side.
Oh,
so
good.
you could potentially
Far away.
So it's potentially that first round team I'm telling you. Then the next would be someone like a Midlothian Greenville. We're fortunate enough to get there, and then you have like a Highland Park type team, which they're very good, ranked in the top 15. And then you'll go play like a Kimball, South Oak Cliff, maybe a Frisco school in the regional semis, and then probably Lancaster in the regional finals. They're really good.
Yeah.
So it's a path that I like. I really do. I told somebody this is a team that could lose in the first round because we don't show up that day, or a team that could get back to the regional tournament and have a chance. So hopefully we'll do the opposite. We'll give ourselves a chance and prepare and just get it rolling in the playoffs.
Coach, thank you so much. I know you've got a lot on your plate today, and appreciate you coming in. And it's been an interesting season. That you've had to work real hard this year, but 9-3. I never wanted to ask if you were pleased with second place. I know the answer to that, I think, but you always want to be the top dog. But sometimes you just have to take your hat off to somebody like Joey Chisholm and that Mount Pleasant team hadn't lost a game all year. And so we'll see how they do in the playoffs. But they've been known to, make a pretty good run in the past. So we'll see if he's got the horses to do that this year.
I think he does. I think they have a very good team. Probably the best Mount Pleasant team they've ever had. And, man, they do such a good job. And on that second time we played them, they really exposed us in areas I didn't know we were really weak at. So I'm kind of glad they exposed us in some ways that, we got to fix. So hopefully that's some eye-opening stuff for us, just a chance to learn and grow. So we take losses as blessings because they're learning opportunities, just not in the playoffs. Those aren't blessings. Just So once again, it's hard to win, and it's hard to make the playoffs. And we're grateful to be in second. Like you said, I wish we were in first, but now it all starts over. It's a brand new season, and I think our district can go, and I think they can have a chance to sweep the other district. I know Huntsville's really good, but and our district is really tough and very competitive with some very good coaches, and that's not taken away from other districts. I know they're tough, and they were tough for us each and every night. So we'll just kind of see how it goes.
All right, Mount Pleasant, Sulphur Springs, Longview, boy, with all those football guys added, and a lot of athleticism, and then Hallsville as the fourth seed. So interesting basketball coming up for the district, and Coach, keep us apprised of what's going on with your team, and we'll certainly be asking the questions too. So thanks again for coming in on Saturday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for supporting us.
Okay, let's get Alexi Upton in here after the break, and we'll talk Wildcat soccer right after this. And back here with Alexi Upton now, the Wildcats soccer coach. And been an interesting season for you so far, Coach. As we've talked, couldn't have a tougher opening duo with Longview and Mount Pleasant, two teams preseason ranked to be in the top 10 in the region. And and they were tough. We played them very competitively, 1-0 loss to Longview, 2-0 to Mount Pleasant. They just continue to roll it out there. But interesting match last night. Go over to Texarkana. I enjoyed your little comment about how you seem to always want to keep things interesting when you don't want to win too big. When you go over to Texarkana, and it was 3-2 against that wily old coach, Jesus De Leon, our former Lady Cats soccer coach.
Yeah, every time I go there, we start off by just chatting it up with Jesus. He's a great guy, and I just love talking to him and just, bouncing off ideas and, kind of catching up on where we're at. And yeah, just every time we go to T-High, it's a crazy game. It's literally been a crazy game all 3 years that I've been coaching. The first year, we couldn't find a goal, and we won 1-0. It was crazy back and forth. The second year, it went into overtime, and it was 3-2 win. And then last night, it was a 3-2 win again, and it was just crazy back and forth. We were actually down 2-1 with 15 minutes left. So I was getting a little, hands were getting a little sweaty. I was getting a little nervous, and then our boys, they lock in though, and they just find a way to pull games out. So, very proud of our guys and what they did.
Yeah, your third goal, that was interesting. You had a little comment there. A player an interesting player coming off the bench. He's a bigger fella, pretty good size, and he gets in there and mixes it up. The bodies seem to fly around when he's in there, but he scores the decisive goal for you. Tell us about him and that goal last night.
Yeah, Garrett Reim's, he's a senior, and he's a kind of rotation player for us on the outside back and in the defense. And, he just came in the game, and, he was probably in about, 5-6 minutes into the game, him being in. I said, hey, just go get in the corner, just get in there and make something happen. And it literally just falls right to him, and he just flicks it in and gets a goal. I don't think he didn't even know what to do with himself. It was his first goal he's ever scored. He kind of just stood there like, what? So, that's great. You love to see stuff like that for kids because it means so much to them, and it means so much to our program and our guys. And so that's really special to see things like that.
I think Jorge Santa Cruz had your first goal, and then is it Joel Passion, I believe, goal for you. So
yeah, kind of ironic. It was a really just interesting game because the NTCC coach was the assistant ref on this side. So I guess he does some part-time stuff where he refs as well. So it was funny because both George and Joel are trying to go there, and he was there watching them score goals. So it was just a weird night, man. It was just a very interesting night. But George got us started, played a little combination, and then played a ball in, and he kind of misplayed the ball, but he played it in to where it kind of shot across the line and kind of went in the goal, and we were just like, hey, goal's a goal, let's take it.
That's right.
And then so we're down 2-1 with 15 minutes left after that, and they scored 2 back-to-back, and then Joel, really kind of saved us. We were, it was looking a little nervy, and it was ball falls to him at the top of the box, and he just hammers it. it was a really, really nice goal. And that got us back at 2-2, and then Garrett Reim finished it off at the end. So proud of the boys, and those things are gonna happen. You're gonna get down some goals, and you're gonna have to adjust. And every team in our district can play. Nothing's a free game. So we did a good job of handling the situation.
All right, and so a big week coming up for you now. How much do you know? You're kind of beginning to see what the teams are like as they play each other, and you'll have Marshall at home on Tuesday, and then go to Pine Tree on Friday. Tell us about those.
Pine Tree's a big one on Friday, but Tuesday and Marshall's also a big one too at home. We saw them a little bit because they were in the Terrell tournament with us, so we got some small glances of them there at that point. And then, they beat T-High 4-1 to Open District. Had a really good game at their own house. So, they're a solid team, and, they're going to come out and play. I think they're just 1-0. Or they had a result last night that I'm not sure about. But
I think they're 1-1 now.
Yeah, I think they might be 1-1 now. But I'm a solid group. They can play, and they're going to go give it a fight. A lot of people are fighting for that last spot, it seems like. So everybody on the night is going to go get after that last spot, whether it's Hallsville, whether it's Marshall, whether it's T-High. So everybody's trying to compete, and they're going to come out and compete. They're never going to give us anything for free.
Yeah, when you kind of get in the hole with those two losses that we talked about right off the bat, there's not a lot of wiggle room. You've got to really start taking care of business, and these games this week are really, really big games. Both of these teams look like they can play, and kind of in that group of teams that'll be battling for one of those 4 playoffs.
Yeah, I told our boys at the start of the game last night, I said, hey, 0-3 will kill us. 0-3 we'll have to do a lot of work to get back to where we want to be. And I think that kind of opened some eyes. He's like, yeah, they're like, wow, they don't even process that, because they expect themselves to win those kind of games. But, when you say things like that, they kind of, took a step back and they were like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, we really got to get after it tonight because 0-3 will kill us. So they got after it, and we started slow, but we finished it off. And yeah, it's gonna be 2 big games. Marshall's gonna go compete, and then Pine Tree's gonna be the guy that we think is the person we're fighting for, kind of in that 2-3 spot, somewhere around there. So they're solid. They're a really good team. They beat T-High 4-1. I think they beat somebody else. And they're 2-0, I think, right now. So they're a real good group, and we're gonna have to go compete with them.
Absolutely. So I know just your nature, you're not ceding anything to anybody, and you may have lost to Longview and Mount Pleasant, but you're certainly ready to tee it up with them again, even at their place, and see if we can't kind of reverse that.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say that we deserve to win because, I think Mount Pleasant and Longview both did really great things to, get their wins. But at the same time, I mean, we lost 1-0 to Longview off of an own goal, off of a crazy, bouncing around own goal, and then we lose 2-0 to Mount Pleasant off of, us getting 6 yellow cards and a red card, and then just being a madness of a game, and just some things didn't really roll our way. We had a ton of chances that we didn't finish, so we easily can play with both those teams. It wasn't like they blew us out of the gym, or anything like that. We played with both of them really well. So, we're right there, and our kids saw that. Our kids noticed that, and, so the second time around, we are going to go get after them, and, hopefully we can take something off those 2 guys.
All right, big win last night, again, over Texas High, 3-2 in Texarkana. We're going to take our 3rd internal break, and we'll come back with Coach Upton right after this. Back here on a Saturday morning coaches show with Alexi Upton, the Wildcats soccer coach. Coach, you mentioned all the yellow cards and red cards. Did that affect you last night? How did that affect you last night? I don't know the rules. Red is an automatic ejection.
Coming around, we missed a guy. Every time I go to T-High, I don't know why. It's just the weirdest. There's some omens or something. I don't know. But we are always missing a bunch of people. Always. My first year we were missing 4 or 5. My second year last year, it was during spring break, and we had a bunch of guys hurt, and a couple guys were in track. A couple guys were gone. We were missing 5 or 6, and then last night we were missing 7. So literally every time we go there, we have to bring up JV kids, and they got to come contribute and play their part. But like you said, so the red card, Alejandro Diosdado got it in the MP game, so he had to sit last night.
Is it just a one game suspension?
Yeah.
Yellow cards are kind of a cumulative thing?
And the yellow cards just, they just kind of build up. Once you get 5, you have to sit a game.
Oh, okay.
So, we're not really anywhere close to that. We only, I think our highest guys we got like 3 guys with 2, so we're not really anywhere near that. But, it's just, it's a weird thing where every time we go to T-High, I'm missing a bunch of people. So, it was good to see that, some people stepped into their roles. I want to highlight somebody, Cason Blake. He came over to us from basketball in the summertime, worked hard in the summertime, worked hard in the off-season. He started at left back last night, left defender, and he just, he played an incredible, really solid game. Really, really solid game. He made few mistakes. He was really simple. He was big time defensively. I thought he did a really, really incredible job. Some people stepped in really well, like George Santa Cruz with the goal and Garrett Reim with the goal. So people had moments to step up and perform, and they really did a really good job of it.
10-6-1. Does that compared to your expectations? So what's that like for you right now?
We'll take it with a grain of salt. That's a good record, and we're happy with that. We're happy with the 10 wins. And you can't win them all. Some of the stuff at the start of the season that we lost, we kind of rubbed us the wrong way, and then losing the 2 in the start of the district, kind of rubbed us the wrong way too. But we're bouncing back from that, and we're gonna go get after it in the second round of district, and then the rest of district, first round of district. So.
It seemed like you had such a senior-laden team last year with a lot of leadership, and we've talked before how it was just a shame that those guys didn't get a chance to see what they could have done in the playoffs and everything, because they seemed to be hitting on all cylinders at the end of the year. But what a great group. But, you know, you can't dwell on that. You have to move on, and that's just the nature of high school sports. The seniors are going to move on, and you look forward to those young, fresh faces. But sometimes those young, fresh faces are inconsistent and kind of up and down, and you've had a little bit of that this
Yeah,
year.
that's part of playing younger kids. You know, they're growing pains, and they're gonna make mistakes, and you just got to get back. They're gonna mess up, and you don't punish them, and you don't do anything like that. You got to get them back in practice. You got to get them back into film, and you got to get them to learn. I mean, they finally see something and see how it works, and then they finally do it in a game, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. And so, it's just making that click and that connection. And, the 6 losses is just because, you have younger guys, and you're striving to be consistent and things like that. So we're just going to do a better job of, just one day at a time and, getting our wins and focusing in on that. But, it is a younger group, and we graduated 15 guys last year, and it was a big class. And, we got a big class of 9 right now, so 2 big classes, and then we'll have to regroup and do it all over again next year. So,
And a ton of signings last year. We've never seen the likes of that in soccer quite to that extent, and that just shows that the quality of the program and the athlete, we're beginning to kind of step it up there. And one thing, it seemed like by the end of the season, you've really got those guys playing rock solid defense, and of course I know you like that defensive approach.
Yeah, I mean, a little disappointed that we gave up 2 last night. We were missing, 2 guys in the back, but still that's no excuse. We're a team, and we, everybody knows the team concepts that we have. But that being said, still working on refining that and cleaning that up, and hopefully when we're at the end of district, we're saying, hey, we're not giving up any goals, and we're looking good, like we did last year. So, really excited to hopefully get to that point. But like you said about the the character of the kid and the quality of the kid, it is getting better. It's growing a lot. When I stepped in, it was kind of it was important, but it really wasn't that important. And now we're getting to the point where it's like kind of expected. It's expected to win games. It's expected to go at least talk to college and try to get to colleges. It's expected to behave and be your best and do things right in the classroom. So everything was kind of when I got here, but now it's, hey, this is the expectation. So we have 9 seniors this year, and we're expecting 6 or 7 of them to go off and play college, and put about at least 3/4 of them. So that's a really big goal for us, and that's what we want to do every year. So.
Yeah, once a college program gets on you, or they get one of your kids, and they say, wow, this kid, well trained, he brings a lot to the table. They come back and they start looking, and what else do they have? And so that bodes well for those seniors and their chances to play at the next level.
Absolutely. I mean, I have 5, 6 college coaches that consistently talk to me because they know that we're producing good kids. And they're like, hey, what do you have in this position, or what do you have here, or what does that kid do, and how does he affect your program, kind of thing, So, like you said, when you get one kid sent off, they'll come back and they'll say, hey, what else do you have for us? So that's good, to create those pipelines to move them on to college, and 10, 6, and 1, and we're gonna go get some seniors in college, and we're gonna go get after it for the rest of the year. So.
And an interesting week coming up. With Marshall and Pine Tree. And again, I think that's all a part of that group that's got eyes on those playoff spots. So these games are crucial now. Like you say, if 0-3, you still don't want that 3rd loss. So big games coming up this week.
Yeah, got to go 4-2. Through the first round of district, lost to the 2 big guys. But got to go take care of the guys that are hunting for spots. Like you said, Pine Tree's very good. Marshall's going to go give you a fight. And then after both of those guys, at the very end, wrapping it up, is Hallsville. Very athletic team that plays really close games versus people. They've lost a lot of games, but they stay in every game. They're 2-1, they're 1-0, they're 1-1, and they lose in overtime or something like that. They stay in every game they've played. They've barely got blown out of any. I mean, they've only had like 1 big loss. So everybody in our district's a team that on any night could sneak it from you. Could take it from you. Nobody's just going to say, hey, here's a free win. Nobody does that anymore. Like I talked about when my, very first couple of interviews, and was that, the talent level in high school soccer is getting so much better.
Yeah.
You don't blow anybody out of the gym anymore. You don't do that. I mean, you're going to get some 4-0 wins and some 5-0 wins every once in a while, but that doesn't happen on a, every other game basis anymore. Everybody's going to go compete. Everybody's going to go play. So, it's good. You like to see that. You want to see everybody have a good program and everybody fight and every game be a hard game. So, one game at a time, and we're going to go try to get 4-2 in district, and then we're going to go try to take the big boys in the second round again. So.
You probably remember from your playing time, there were probably a district game or two that you knew were going to really be key, and then there might be 3 or 4 walkovers that you knew were just going to be kind of, kind of one-sided.
Yeah, we blew. I mean, we blew people out. I mean, we had a district with Terrell, both the Forneys, Crandall, and West Mesquite, and somebody else. I mean, everybody other than West Mesquite, I mean, we just blew out. And Forney was a solid game, but the other 3, 4, 5, we just blew out of the water. I mean, 6-0s, 8-0s, 9-0s. I mean, we just blow them out. And I look back at those teams and I look at them now in 2021 and look at their programs, and I'm like, their world's better. Every kid can play. Every kid's a club player. Every kid knows what soccer is and how to play it. So that just shows the progression in this country that kids love to play soccer. They want to get smarter at soccer. It's growing. It's getting better. Teams are having JV2 programs now that they've never had before. So it means a lot to somebody that loves soccer to see that that's happening. But yeah, like you said, it's really competitive now. But just me, 8 years ago, 8, 9 years ago, we'd blow several people out of the gym. So it's getting better, and we're excited for that. And we're just gonna go, like I said, just go one game at a time and try to get our wins.
Yeah, no easy dates on the schedule now, and the schedule maker has a sense of humor because scheduling that Wildcats and Hallsville as the last district game, I don't know how many years. It seemed like just almost every year.
Yeah.
It always came down to those two teams playing somewhere, and the winner in the playoffs, the loser gone.
Yeah.
And so, once again, there they are in the schedule.
Yeah, the 2 years under Wiggins, that happened back to back. They played Hallsville and won it both to get into two rounds of playoffs. Kind of eked in there, kind of squeaked in there, but we've kind of progressed from that, and hopefully we don't ever find ourselves in that kind of situation ever again. But they're a solid team. They're going to go compete. They're going to go get after it. And like I said, they haven't lost a game by more than 2 goals. They stay in every game, and they're going to be a good group. And Pine Tree and Marshall this week are going to be a good group. And we just got to make sure that we're 4-2 when the second round comes around, so we can go get after the big guys.
All right. Well, basketball kind of pending, and so we'll probably see more of you out at Prim Stadium. And so looking forward to seeing that Wildcat team. I've only, I guess in a real game, I saw quite a bit in the scrimmage, but not so much from the real game. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from those guys.
Yeah.
They're fun to watch.
Your first one was Mount Pleasant. We didn't have the best of.
Oh boy.
It was ugly. It wasn't pretty, and we'll hopefully try to redeem ourselves on Tuesday if you're there. So very excited to see you. So.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. And that's going to do it for the Saturday Morning Coaches Show. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for joining us this morning, and so long, everyone.